Hey, welcome back to Maximize Your Influence. Appreciate you being here. Just finished up a podcast on subconscious triggers. Go to MaximizeYourInfluence.com to find the podcast, the archives, your free book, Maximum Influence, and of course, take your persuasion IQ test. Did you know that up to 95% of persuasion influence involves a subconscious trigger? It's a feeling. I like you, I don't like you, I trust you, I don't trust you, I'm going to do business with you, I don't do business with you. It could be a smell, a color, a symbol, a gesture, a word choice, your tone of voice, facial hair, sunglasses, and people don't even realize that. I spent the whole podcast talking about what supermarkets do, what casinos do, what great persuaders do to really identify and use in the right way those subconscious triggers to persuade below the radar. So last time we talked about detecting deception, not to become a better liar, but to be able to see when people are lying to you. We talked about those verbal cues. This time we're talking about those non-verbal cues. Now remember, you're looking for their standard behavior before you start the persuasion or negotiation process to see what they normally do. If you see a lot of changes there, then you start looking for clusters. Just because they touch their face and use more vocal fillers and take up less space and start to perspire, if they do those things individually, it might not mean anything. But if you see all those as a cluster, they could be lying to you. Because there's always deception leakage. What I mean is, we can't control everything that's going on with our emotions, our face, our body language, our tone of voice. So there's always persuasion leakage, and you need to see that leakage. And so this is what we need to talk about, those verbal states. Let's talk about those 5 things you're looking in the nonverbal world that could indicate deception. So let's talk about number 1. And that would be emotional expressions. You'll see something in their face. We can't hide that 1/10 of a second. Something happens to our face. When we slow down politicians, we can see in their face that they're lying. You might see little micro expressions. Something might not feel quite right. Or an emotion will last too long. 5 to 10 seconds of them being happy, or an expression on their face that they're trying to force might last a little too long. Or delayed reaction when they say something like, I am so angry. And they hit something like that doesn't seem quite right. That's number 1. Number 2, you've got to look at their body. Are they start to perspire? Are they moving back and taking up less space? Are their gestures a little more robotic, a little more thought through? Because we just gesture. But when you're lying, you're like, oh, I better not use my hands, or I'm using my hands too much, or they're thinking through it. They become more robotic. So look at their body. What's different from their gestures to perspiration? Do people tend to take up less space in a chair, or stick their feet underneath the chair, or they want more distance between you and them? Could be a challenge. Take a look at their body. Then you got to take a look at number 3, those eyes. The window to the soul. You got to take a look at their eyes. You're either going to see forced eye contact. Everyone thinks you're going to see less, and that's true a lot of times. It'll just be different. Some people think, I'm lying, I got to look at them. So it's like forced eye contact or less eye contact. If you're aware of it, you'll see increased blinking, and their pupils might dilate. When people get nervous or tense, their pupils might dilate a little bit. So take a look at the eyes. And then number 4, take a look at their head. Things are going to change there. You might see their nose or their ears start to turn red as blood increases to that area. When you lie, that tends to happen. You might see them covering their mouth or touching their face more. That could be a sign of deception. So take a look at the head. What do you see in that's different than before? From the nose to the ears, even we talked about earlier about the eyes to covering the mouth, that can be a challenge with the head. Then, of course, there's number 5. Take a look at their legs. Are they shaking more, crossing, uncrossing? Talked about earlier, taking up less space, doing something different. Their stance might change quite a bit. Take a look at their legs. That's not something they're thinking about controlling, and that's a good thing to take a look at. But remember, you're looking for clusters. 2, 3, 4, maybe these. Add the verbals I talked about last time at Maximize Your Influence. Take a look at these techniques. Become better at detecting deception, because people are lying to you. When they say things that's too expensive, can't afford it, usually a lie. 67% of the time, it's a lie. So thanks for being here. Tell your family and friends, your enemies about Maximize Your Influence. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let us know what you think. The contact us is on MaximizeYourInfluence.com. Master these skills and go out and persuade with power.